What's up everybody, Cursing Mushroom here, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. So today guys, we're going to be discussing the new weapon changes, and today's is about pulse rifles. On this first page, I'm going to give you the information of what's supposed to have changed, and then what I'll do from there is I will go on to a slide where I show the side-by-side of the before and after actual specs of the weapon from the screen that you can pull up your weapon. And then after that, I'm going to show some video footage. After that, guys, I'm going to have a end slide, which will look the same as the one before, and it will have all the information of what's actually changed, so you know where to look and find all the information for some reason if you don't want to watch the full video or whatever it may be. This way, you can just see it all on screen of what actually has changed, percentages or whatever it may be, to get you guys the information you need. So let's move on. Okay, Guardians, so let's get into what's actually changing for pulse rifles. You're getting increased PvE damage across the board. That's for adaptive, high impact, and rapid fire frames. You're getting increased multiplier for lightweight and decreased for adaptive. In case you are wondering what precision multiplier means, is that the percentage of damage that you do is much greater when you hit the critical spot on the enemy opposed to its non-critical spot. So note that. Also note that I'm not going to be going over the adaptive frame because it's going to be doing less damage in that aspect. And I think, honestly, that the high impact and the lightweight is going to be more beneficial. So that's what I'm going to be covering. For the high impact, I'm covering the Einstein D. And I'm also going to be covering the perk that is associated with it, and its high impact reserves, because it's getting an increase on PvE damage. Note that the reason I am covering the lightweight is to see if the precision multiplier is a large enough difference to matter. Okay, Guardians, here's the Einstein D. It actually went up from 320 to 340 RPMs, which means you can get more bullets downrange quicker. Also, the Agenda 5, nothing has changed. I also wanted to show it to you this way, so that way you could see all the natural things that I'm doing, showing you guys that I'm not changing any of the perks attached to the weapon. Okay, so let's talk about it. So let's say you land a non-critical, as you see here. It's going to be 33 per bullet. You're shooting 3 at a time, so you're going to be doing a total of 99. Note that you will do 53 damage at the crit without proccing the perk, and if you land all 3, it'll be a total of 159. Now, how that correlates in terms of your critical percentage, you're going to be doing 60% more damage, roughly, because there is a decimal point, and I don't want to confuse you guys or make it more complicated than it has to be. So, note you want to land all criticals. That's obvious. It's a pulse rifle. Now, where the perk comes in play, as you can have a maximum of 56 per bullet, and that's the last 3 shots, with a total of 168 if you land all 3, and this is criticals, mind you. So you've got a rough estimate of 5% increase overall. So instead of doing 60%, you could potentially do 65-ish. Now that's for the before the patch. You're going to be surprised with the next statistics. Okay, so now that it's after the patch, you're going to be doing 44 per bullet, a total of 132, whereas before you were only doing 99. And when you hit crits, no perk, you're doing 70 of a total of 210, opposed to 159. Okay, what that correlates to in terms of crit multiplier, you're still doing the same 60%. Remember, that's a rough estimate because of the decimals. Now, note with the perk activated, it gets crazy here. It's a lot different than before. So, in terms of the last 3 bullets, because I'm just going to give you the most damage possible, you're doing 84, 85, and then 87. I think on the last 3 bullets, instead of it being the same number, it's going to be different with every bullet of the 3-bullet burst. It's a total of 256 damage. In terms of total output increase, it's 24% rough estimate because of the perk, which is absolutely fantastic. Now that's just absolutely nuts. That's just the perk added percentage bonus. That's not the overall. Here's the overall. So initially you're doing 1623 rough with the perk, And then after, you're doing 2254 rough with the perk. That's an average of 37 to 40-ish%. So you're going to be doing 37 to 40 more percent with this weapon, assuming you land all criticals. Now, if you didn't have this perk and you're just using a high impact pulse, assuming they're tuned the same, you'll be doing a 30%-ish buff. So that's the full factor. You're at least getting 30% more damage, and then if you're using this weapon, you're getting almost 40% damage increased. I think that's a great thing to happen. So I'm going to roll the slide here that shows you guys what I just said so you can see it, and then we're going to go on to the Agenda 5. Okay, so the Agenda 5 before the patch. So initially you're landing 25 per bullet non-critical. That's a total of 75 per the 3-round burst if you land all 3. You've got 37 for crit, and if you multiply that by 3, you've got 111 if you land the whole burst. Now note that that is a 48% increase in critical multiplier, a rough estimate, okay? So you obviously wanted to land those crits before. That was before the buff. So let's check out what it looks like after we receive the patch. Okay, now after the patch with the Agenda 5, if you're landing a non-critical hit, you're going to be doing a 28 per bullet, which equates to 84 if you land all 3. Now if you land that precious critical hit, you're going to be doing 45. If you multiply that by 3, you will be doing 135. Now, what does that correlate to in terms of the critical multiplier, you say? Well, before we were doing 48%, now we're doing a whopping 60%, which is fantastic. You've just upgraded 12%. Now, if we take in the figures, if you landed all critical hits into consideration from before the patch and after the patch, because this weapon did get a base weapon damage buff as well, you're looking at 21% overall, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, that's a rough estimate, you guys, but I'm going to show you the little slide and we'll continue about our business. Guys, thanks for watching my video. If you have any ideas or anything you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, you can always subscribe to my channel with the little red bar, or click the videos to your left to see more of my great content.